Hey guys, I wanted to do a quick video because I have to go, but I really wanted to take this time while I have daylight to talk to you guys about how I release heavy resistance. If you are obsessing over something, or if you're just not sure if you have resistance around something or it's causing you anxiety, upset, this is how I release resistance. I'm going to make this a quick video. My goal is 5 minutes. We'll see about that. But I know some people don't like this method, and you absolutely don't have to do it, or you can adapt it to whatever. It can feel very scary. It can feel like a trust fall exercise, and in a way I guess it is, but it works for me. Yeah, so what I do, and I'm going to give you a couple specific examples, is when I have like heavy resistance. So for example, my lease came to an end at the end of last year, or like in the fall of last year, end of summer, and I thought that my lease was going for a couple more months, and all of a sudden I just noticed it, and it was like not fun for me. It was not a good time for me. It caused me so much panic and anxiety because I had no plan for what I was doing next. My plan had been that the universe was just going to take care of it for me, and of course it was, but it wasn't doing it in a way that I felt supported in, because I still had a lot of fear. And yeah, so I freak out. I have like a whole meltdown. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I had like a few weeks. I think I had like 3 weeks. I was objectively fine. I did not feel fine. I felt like I was going to be homeless for whatever reason, even though I have plenty of people loving and supporting me that offered me, like rooms if I needed it. But anyway, getting into how I let go of the resistance was because I've been in situations before. Every time a lease comes up or a living situation is coming to an end, it freaks me out because I don't know what the next thing is going to be, and I've carried this feeling of fear around being supported in life that I've been healing a lot recently, so hopefully this next one will be easier, but it's something that I've struggled with. So I had a whole meltdown. I was in full like fight or flight mode. Your nervous system gets triggered. So this is why I think that my technique works best if you're that triggered that your nervous system can't calm down. Now what you can do is you can try the EFT tapping. I think that's what it's called. I know it's called tapping. I don't know if EFT is right. But what I saw on the internet and what has been working for me when I have used it is that you tap here, your cheek, your collarbone, and then you squeeze right here. But you tap like not hard enough to be like hurting yourself, but hard enough to really like feel it. And it's just I think you can say things like I affirm like I am taken care of or I'm safe while I'm doing it. But I think that you can actually affirm the thing you're afraid of to let go of it. Like I'm terrified, or like I'm not supported. I don't know, I do the positive thing, but like I haven't done it that much, but that works for me. But what I do to calm my nervous system down is, personally, I make peace with the worst case scenario. So for the example of my living situation, what's the worst thing that happens? The worst thing that happens is, thankfully I have a loving family that is always able to provide for me in cases of emergency. So I know that should I really end up on the streets, my parents would have me come live with them. And it wouldn't be the ideal situation for me, but I would have no issues and I would be very taken care of living with my parents. So I make peace with like, okay, that's the worst case. The worst case isn't something I want. I really wouldn't like it, but it would be perfectly fine. I would be very supported, and I would be safe. I would have a roof over my head. And I am sure, or at least I hope, that all of you would have someone that if worst came to worst and you lost every physical possession you have and you're on the street, somebody would let you sleep on their couch. So what I do is I think of the worst case. Now, if it's something like a relationship with someone, like say that I'm having a fight with a friend, or I think that they misunderstood me and they're really upset, or they've done something and it's really upset me and I just don't know if we're going to be able to resolve it, I think of the worst case. So the worst case is maybe your friendship is over. and it really sucks. But then I have other friends, or I always know that I find, a new, you get closer with someone now that you have that space freed up for you, and someone eventually will take their place. Something's not going to work out with a romantic partner. Maybe you break up. Maybe you don't speak for ever again, but because again, worst case, I don't do the in-betweens, but then sometimes I do. Like I'll be like, oh, well, maybe we just don't talk for a while and then we figure things out. But then also what would happen if we just never spoke again? Well, I know that I'd find someone else because I believe that there's an abundance and that, there's always something. So it stops me from free falling if I can tell myself that I'm free falling. If I feel like I'm free falling, I'll tell myself what that rock bottom that I would hit is. And I work myself through it, and I show myself how I would be supported and safe despite how undesirable it might be and uncomfortable it might be. Now, this is where a lot of coaches, 6 minutes, I said 5. Okay. This is where a lot of coaches don't agree or say, oh, probably don't do that because you don't have to give up and stop wanting something. Well, I never said I stopped wanting it. I just said I made peace with not having it. Now, this releases a lot of resistance. So this is just, my mentality, like, okay, what's the worst case if SP and I don't work out for whatever reason? Like I just can't figure out my blocks, blah, blah, blah. Worst case is I meet someone new and I figure it out with them, or I figure it out eventually, like I just make peace and know that I'm okay and safe and supported with whatever the worst case is, and it stops me from the free fall. It calms my nervous system down, and I am able to be centered and in my energy, and it also shows me what my worth is. So if you would say, oh, like if my lease was up and if I ended up on the streets and nobody would take me in, that is a sign of where your worth is and how supported you feel in life. Because I guarantee somebody somewhere would. You might not even know them, but somebody would. Like, it's all, and I understand that might be a sensitive subject, but just objectively speaking from a manifestation point of view and the fact that our reality is reflecting our inner thoughts and beliefs, when I think about the worst case, it shows me that even in the worst case, I am still loved and supported. And then I am able to come back to that feeling and just let go of the what ifs, because now I'm just in that state. So on that note, because I have to go, I will leave you with this. Did it make sense? Let me know. I'm always curious if my ramblings are helpful or confusing. Let me know if there's something I can clarify. I'd be more than happy to. Let me know what's going on with you. If you have a request, something you'd like to hear me talk about, please let me know. I would be happy to consider making a video on it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video.